time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time. Yeah.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A, MMA fans.
Oh, what a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived to hear from the man himself, Ariel Helwani. Live from the Box Studios in beautiful New York City, it's
I see a lot of people weighing in on
and
this.
now, to answer your questions, get out of your seats and
who
on
knows?
your feet because here he is, Ariel Helwani.
If only I went to law school. Rick, did you
There's
go to
still
law
time.
school? Did you? I feel like Rick went to law school in a previous life.
I did not.
What could you tell us about this?
feel like we would have known.
I cannot tell you anything. I think you summed it up.
Did I?
Quite nicely.
I mean, I pretty much read verbatim the article. That was my.
Well, I think
No,
they
but
summed it up quite.
Yes.
Well, they shout out to Damon Martin who wrote that article.
Shout out.
But I think you summed it up when you said, ultimately, we can't view this until we know what the terms are, right? We don't know ultimately how this will play out. We will see at a later date what has been agreed to and all those things. My takeaway has always been and continues to be now in light of this, no different. Like, if the fighters don't fight for the rights, like, how can anybody else get involved and invested? You know, if the fighters are not the ones who are pushing that forward and ultimately no change is made and it ends up being monetary gains only, happy for them if that's the number that they wanted and congratulate them on the victory and that's what they should get. But if ultimately none of the athletes are the ones pushing forward the agenda for fighter rights and equal treatment and wanting to be classified as employees rather than contractors, then it's kind of hard for me or anybody else to get on board with it because they need to be the vocal majority of this. They need to be the ones pushing it forward. So we'll see ultimately what the result of this ends up being.
I cannot begrudge the fighters of yesteryear for saying, I want a bigger piece of the pie, right?
Nope.
And they deserved that and deserved that. That being said, and we'll see when the entire thing comes out publicly, and it will come out because TKO is a public company, it would be nice if there's an element to this that helps the fighters of tomorrow, right? That's always been the issue when it comes to any efforts to collectively bargain, to have a collective voice, whatever you want to say, association, union, blah, 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 blah. That has always been the thing that has always stopped because fighters are inherently selfish people. And I don't say that in a negative way, but they are programmed and groomed to just worry about themselves. It's a solo sport. You got to fight and scratch and claw to eat and everyone else be damned. And I get that. That's just the fight game. It's not a team sport. But it would be great if there was something in all of this after hearing about it for so long, for 10 years, and it started in these embryonic stages, and who could have thought that it would ever even reach this point? There's something in there that would benefit the fighters of tomorrow, the fighters who aren't a part of this class action. So we'll see. Right now, I'm not seeing that there is any of that, but again, more can come out in the next 45 to 60 days.
Yeah, it's very difficult to, in a sport where careers are very short, in a sport where careers are very short, it's hard to look to the future. It's hard to look toward the class behind you. It's hard to look at your neighbor and say, if we collectively do this, it will benefit everybody in the long term when you may not be the beneficiary of it. So it's completely understandable. Like, and that goes for anybody. This is not specific to fighters. Although it applies in this case, it's very difficult for everybody to come together and do things for the greater good, especially if the impact is not going to be felt for a bit, right? Especially if it's not something I can put in my pocket right now. So I don't begrudge anybody. And as you said, they're owed back pay, right? That is not like, they're not getting extra money. They're getting money that they should have potentially been paid if the system was fairer. So yeah, no judgment on my part for that. But the intention makes it very hard. If there are no measures looking forward, it makes it very hard to support anything if the fighters are not interested in that themselves, right? It can't be only third parties interested in that.
So we missed you last night, New York, Rick. GC, Frank, and I went to the Roadhouse premiere in New York City. I'd been to one premiere before. That was for the Izzy doc. This was completely different. Cocktail Chic was the the attire. I certainly didn't show up in cocktail
I think you
chic.
nailed that.
Yeah.
I think you nailed the cocktail sheet.
Well,
Set a
you know,
new
listen,
trend, dude.
I'm.
That sounded sarcastic. That
I
sounded a
marched-
little
we
we
bit
have a picture
sarcastic.
right here.
I marched to the beat of my own drum.
Here we go.
Okay, what's the picture? Let's see it. I mean,
It's us.
see
It's
it.
the boys at the premiere.
Yeah.
We're looking large, Roadhouse premiere.
what's
Hoodie,
wrong? What's,
jeans.
I mean,
Hoodie jeans, Nikes with fluorescent.
Yeah, and that's my look. That's my look.
Exactly.
That's my look.
Chic.
By the
Not
way-
exactly cocktail chic.
By the way, that's my brother's brand, 20. Shout out.
It's a great hoodie.
shout out David.
That hoodie probably costs like 500 bones. And
Cocktail chic, though.
listen, I'm not watching a movie in a suit. All right,
Here,
I'm not watching a
wanna
movie.
know
What
in a
you're
suit.
You wanna
saying
know how I
is
flipped
you're
this for
flexing
you?
on them.
Tell me.
I flipped this for you. The leaves, they're sort of tropical. It gives that Key
that's
West,
what I was
that
doing.
Roadhouse feel.
That's
that
what I was doing.
It was intentional.
I got the
After
Della
seeing the
Souls.
movie, I was like, he nailed this.
I got the
He
Della
absolutely
Souls.
nailed this.
Maybe I shouldn't have worn the blue jeans in
Yeah,
retrospect.
blue jeans, a pair of Wranglers, maybe
Fine.
not fit for cocktail chic.
Fine. It's
Someone
not
came and
Wranglers.
complimented your shoes too. I heard that.
Yeah, someone complimented. I mean, those are Della Souls. Those run for like 15 at this point.
I mean, if we're going off a
Yeah,
cost,
it's
we can
about
flex on
cost.
everybody.
Yeah,
here. I got
yeah.
the
So,
Chelsea
like,
boots on,
whatever.
overlay
I show up.
jacket.
I'm like Adam Sandler. I show up in baggy shorts, and you all have to deal with it at this point.
I mean,
But
yeah, that's a good point.
it was a nice experience. My wife and I got to walk the wet red carpet. Never done that before. Got to see a lot of
Like
luminaries.
sort of gray carpet.
Yeah, whatever it was fun. I didn't want to do it. She wanted to do it, so we did it.
Oh,
And
you
then
have to do it.
The best part was we got there pretty late, and I was like, I don't want
Wait,
to do it.
before we get to that, what was
Yes.
Jacqueline wearing? Like, was she
wasn't.
dressed up?
She wasn't
or
that
was
dressed
she...
up either. I would say
Okay.
more than me.
More
but we,
fitting.
But we were definitely.
But she said
You look like a
because
pair.
You
look
told her.
you fit.
We were definitely two of the more underdressed. I mean, there were people there wearing like
Styling.
Yes.
Like styling
Like
out. Like
glittery-
women in like very
yes.
high quality dresses, guys in like super high level suits.
I did not expect that. Did you expect
I felt
that?
a little bit underdressed. Well, I mean, can we go back to point A of the first time we talked about this? I was
Yes.
just like, what do we wear?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm about to show out. I'm about to really dress
And
up.
what
for
did I
this,
say?
Like movie premiere, you say, just your normal clothes.
Yeah, that's what I
T-shirt
thought.
and joggers.
That's what
whatever
I
you
thought.
want to whatever you want to rock, man.
That's what I thought.
This is a movie premiere with Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor at it.
Whatever.
Yeah, there were people dressed in nines for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was no big deal.
Frank
Listen,
wore a jacket. Frank showed up in a jacket.
I want to go to the movies and
Frank
be
looked great.
relaxed.
Frank
I
looked-
want to chill
Frank
We're
out.
looked
not going to the AMC
That's
to
what I
catch
thought this was.
the matinee of Kung Fu Panda. Like
That's
we're
what I
at the
thought this
Roadhouse
was.
premiere at the Lincoln Center, right outside of Columbus
Yeah.
Circle. Like this is
That's
this
what I thought
is
it
big
was.
time. McGregor's sitting 2 rows behind us. Like it
In a
was,
nice pinstripe.
Oh, he was looking good.
And yet you walked the red carpet. So
Yeah.
maybe the joke's on all of us.
F 'em.
You're
I
doing
was
it right.
comfortable.
Yeah.
So we walk in and they're like, "You want to rock? Why am I having trouble with this? Do you want to walk the red carpet?" And I was like, "Nah, who the fuck am I? No one cares about me."
You have to. You have to. They shuffled me and Frank through the back door. They were like, no, please. We were supposed to go through door 4, and we started walking towards door 4, and they were like, they like kind of looked us up and down. They were like, you guys just go through door 3. And we were just like, all right, cool, yeah.
Yeah, you had good seats though.
What is
Great
the
seats.
difference between door 4 and door 3?
I think door 4 is where the luminaries were coming through.
Yeah, that was me.
So
Okay. They kept
we
you-
were
the
ticketed for door
riffraff
4,
out.
and they were like, you guys go back to door 3.
So-
Now that I'm like kind of realizing this is a blow to the.
So we literally start walking, and they walk. They have the person with the sign and your name on it, and everyone's taking a picture. And so it's me and my wife. We're very awkward. I'm giving thumbs up. One person says, "Put your hand down." No thumbs up. I don't know what I'm doing.
Someone told you that?
One of the photographers.
That's amazing.
Within 7 seconds of us getting on the carpet, I notice everyone shift their attention. And literally right behind us is Conor McGregor, like
I was-
the next guy up. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. 2 schlubs who are clearly not dressed for the occasion. And I'm putting my wife into this category as well. And Conor's there in his beautiful suit. This is his big New York premiere moment. And we're holding it up. So the beauty was, this is Conor's first time meeting my wife. So I got to say, hey, this is Mrs. Helwani. Remember?
Right. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And so they hugged it out. It was a nice little moment. And then we just we were at the 10-yard line with 90 yards to go. And we just, and it would have been a process to go down. At that point, we were completely irrelevant and just scurried off like 2 mice. No one cared about us anymore. And we got to just, walk off, which was fine, which was nice.
as you said that, I literally went to Getty to look for the photos of you on the red carpet, and now it makes sense why there's no photos of you on the red carpet.
There's none?
No, there's not.
Wow.
Because you scurried away because you beat the system.
Probably.
And you didn't go through
It would have been
through
funny
the
to
conveyor
have the
belt.
photos of me in that like whatever design hoodie I was wearing.
I was looking for it so I could send it to Connor to use on the show, but
that's too bad. In any event,
that makes a lot of sense now.
Got to see John Kavanaugh, Rich Chow again, Nick from Malta, MVP, like I said. Some other people, some fans were there. The fans were better dressed than I was.
MVP was very well dressed. He was rocking like the white suit. I don't even know how to describe it, but it looked great. And
then you sit down, they give you a little popcorn, you sit down. It's a great experience because then Jake Gyllenhaal comes on the stage. He gives a little speech. And that was nice, but I will say, like, Jake wasn't exactly wearing like the, he was. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Whoa.
No, I mean,
he with the glass house.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're talking about A-list movie star.
Yeah.
Massive production. Some of my favorite movies. Great looking guy and just
Timberlands on.
10 out of 10 shape going into this one, and like, it was. I was pretty surprised that
it's a little
pair of slacks and a button up with your standard
cocktail
tie.
chic.
Cocktail chic, I guess.
There was one.
It was pretty cool seeing Gyllenhaal. I was like, wow, shout out. There he is.
Yeah, and he
right
seemed
there.
very nice. He was giving love to every single person in attendance who was a part of the cast. My wife was starstruck by the fact that she was sitting in front of her favorite Peloton instructor, Tunde, and she kept talking to her, and I could tell Tunde didn't really want to talk to my wife, and I think she wanted to ask for a photo, and then afterwards blame me for not pushing the photo, but I was like, she wasn't feeling you. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say?
It's always a vibe check.
Yeah. The vibes weren't great.
It felt like there were a ton of people there that like I recognized, but I couldn't pinpoint where I knew him from.
That's fair.
Of that guy or that girl.
Yes, like there was a guy sitting right in front of me that I was like, is this guy on SNL? Is he on the Today Show? is he like a news correspondent? I was like, I've seen this guy before. I know I have. I just don't know where from.
And Kenan Thompson, huh?
Kenan Thompson in the building. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, he got some love.
So, and then it's great because there's no previews, no nothing. The movie just starts, and it comes out tomorrow.
Imagine they showed previews.
Yeah,
that'd be incredible.
And I will say this. You guys know I'm not a movie buff. And that's the first... Who, me? Yeah, that's right. That's the first movie that my wife and I have been to that, if we exclude the documentary that is the Izzy film that we saw in June, what would I call this? Like a fiction? A fiction,
film,
yeah.
Yeah, an action
non-documentary.
The first one since November of 2011, 50-50, starring...
In theaters, you mean?
In theaters, yeah. Starring, what's his name? The kid from...
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And Seth Rogen.
And Seth Rogen.
Yeah, great film. Anyway, all action. It's incredible, the action. And honestly, I thought Conor McGregor was a bit player in this film. I thought he had like a 10-minute cameo. Mm-hmm. He is fantastic. He's amazing. He is the star every time he's on there, and he's on there for a lot, and he's just very fun. And he's almost like he comes across as larger than life in the movie. Like he looks like a superstar in the movie, and just knowing him and his mannerisms and his sayings that come out, he's playing himself for all intents and purposes. It's a good time. Is it winning an Oscar? Is it winning, any huge award? No, but it is
Irishman going back to back for best actor.
Yeah, sure.
Murphy last year.
It is fun. It is not. I don't know why they didn't put it out in theaters. I don't get that whole thing. I know there was some drama about that.
The director kind of got into it with Amazon. It's a studio. Like a lot of the studios are going this way. It's kind of just a financial based decision, not a merit of movie based decision most of the time these days. There's kind of just
this is definitely this is not a straight to DVD like Never Back Down.
Yeah, a good popcorn flick, right? You would have just sat there and just enjoyed.
Yes.
Yeah, like very well made. Love like the setting down in the Keys, and then Conor is like I would say like behind Gyllenhaal, like he's like
he's the guy
of the movie. Yeah, he's like the main antagonist. It's fantastic.
One of my favorite podcasts is a podcast on The Ringer called The Rewatchables, where they rewatch old movies and they hand out like awards that they've created. One of the awards is the Dion Waiters Award because he shows up, plays 4 minutes, puts up 50 points, and is just like, a heat check type guy, and then he just disappears. So is that Conor? Like every time he's on the screen, he's putting up a bucket, and then he's gone.
He's not there for 4 minutes, dude. He's there like once he arrives in the movie, he is there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
he's
got
a
it,
prominent
got it.
figure in the movie. It's great from
And then the end
from
is
his
great.
arrival
Yeah.
to the end.
And he provides comedic value.
I mean-
Like, it's good. Like, at first, I almost feel like he's settling into the lines, and then by the end, it
By
feels
the
like
end,
himself.
he was a natural.
Yeah.
By the end, he was a natural.
If you're going to be the highest paid debuting actor in Hollywood, you better earn your money.
I don't know how they figure that
Connor
out.
earned that
How do you
check.
find that out?
How did they measure
Yes.
that? Well, I think the answer is like nobody else debuting in a movie has been Conor McGregor and
I don't know, The
commanded
Rock
that type of money,
or
right?
someone, Hulk
No, but
Hogan.
Rock's first movies were trash. Like they were garbage, like straight to DVD type garbage.
Nah, The Scorpion King, that was a big deal. I went to see that in
I don't even
theaters.
think that was his first. No, that wasn't his first. Maybe it was his first, but also
I remember that
like
being a big deal.
I'm sure Connor made more than The Rock for that.
Frankie, what'd you think?
Honestly, I was very surprised by how well it was done. I think it was really Connor's movie, to be honest, because I know how Jake acts and he does a good job. But like seeing somebody debut and like give those lines, I want to put every one of his line on my own soundboard so we could just trigger.
Yeah, because it's all like
because there's one
6
for every
words.
setting.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have any like monologues.
Yeah.
They're
It's all
mostly
very
just
snackable.
one-liners.
Jake's physique is insane. He was believable as far as a fighter. Again, you want 2 hours to just go somewhere else?
It's a turn your brain off movie.
Yeah.
It's just like you just go
Breaking
turn
news
your brain
here
off,
from
entertaining the whole time.
breaking news here
Breaking
from
news.
Jose Youngs.
Okay.
Connor broke The Rock's record. So The Rock was
let's go.
the holder initially,
There
and
you
then
go.
Connor broke it. So
Scorpion
there you go.
King?
You have to come in with status. Yeah, I think that was his first movie.
I love it. I love it. My biggest question, without giving away anything from the movie, how'd they do McGregor's tattoos? I was really.
I was wondering about that as well. Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
it's
Well, he
not
doesn't
his-
have his own.
No,
he doesn't
no,
have his
no.
own tattoos.
They're like customized to the movie. I don't know. I don't know how they did it.
They're reimagined.
Yeah, that's a good way. to put it.
Okay,
Big skin.
Yeah.
sick.
So
I'm so excited to see it. I'm so
Oh,
stoked to see
I'm gonna
it.
watch it again.
It's fun.
It's
It's fun.
entertaining, man.
This
It's
is
a good
in my
time.
wheelhouse.
I actually
this
think
is in my
it's-
do you,
wheelhouse.
do you think
big
my
time.
kids could watch
in
this,
your
Connor?
wheelhouse.
Do you think like my 12-year-old and 10-year-old
In my
or
wheelhouse.
12-year-old and 10-year-old for sure.
I think they would actually
Oh,
like
so
it.
it's family
No,
friendly. It's not even like
There's swearing, but there's no like
There's swearing,
Sexy
but it's
time.
not like it's not like
there's no nudity.
I think they maybe say like
okay.
3 or 4
Nice.
F words.
Yeah.
Like it's not like just like riddled with profanity and like the violence is like fight scenes.
It's more family appropriate than the original one was.
I don't
Yeah,
even,
I was going
I
to
saw
say
the
that
original,
one.
but I don't
would
remember.
not show the kids.
When's the last time you saw that, Frank?
Last year when this was announced,
Oh, okay.
I went and watched it.
Here's
And
what
it's
I could
great, but-
here's what I could say with great certainty. This movie is 100% better than what the Ronda Rousey version of this was supposed to be.
Oh,
Do you remember
God.
that? Ronda Rousey was supposed to be, I guess, Connor. Was she
Couldn't
supposed to be
happen.
Connor or Gyllenhaal?
So what I've heard
Neither
is she
couldn't
was
have
supposed to be Gyllenhaal, but it was completely reworked. Like
Okay.
it was not supposed to be that exact same role, but it was supposed to be. By the way, this is I believe Damon Martin told me this. It was supposed to be the Gyllenhaal role, but the script and everything was completely different. The story was completely different, but she would have been like the lead character.
Okay. I could see. Okay.
Now, Gyllenhaal was perfect for this.
He's great.
Like he has that certain demeanor that's necessary for this character. Plus the way they tied in the UFC stuff was really cool.
Yeah, I was actually expecting
I
a
mean,
little
we
bit
were-
more of that, to be honest.
We were
I
there.
feel like they gave enough.
Right.
We were there when they were recording that scene, at the actual UFC
Mhm.
event, and like I just couldn't believe
You
what
were
they
at
were
that
able
one?
to do in like 5 minutes. I believe I was. I forget what number it
290?
was.
285?
Was it 266? Didn't you say the last one you went to was 266?
Nah, it definitely
Oh,
was
yeah,
not
so maybe-
266.
maybe-
266 was September 21.
Yeah.
No, that's the last one I traveled to.
Right.
In Vegas. So maybe I wasn't there. Maybe I'm just remembering the footage we got sent back. I know Jose was definitely
Jose
there.
was there. It
Um,
was 85 or 90. It was one of the two.
I don't know
But
if you
either
guys
way,
noticed
like,
me
they-
drinking. I was just drinking from my MMA hour.
Sick water bottle, yeah.
Oh wow.
Nice
Got anything
yellow
to
color,
share?
too.
No, this is from our guy. What's his name?
Gunnar Woodworks.
Gunnar Woodworks. One of one.
Oh, shout out Gunner.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if we're gonna do that, like the boys,
Hey,
the
St.
boys,
Pat's
St.
going
Pat's,
today.
baby.
Yeah. Big game tonight.
Today, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m.
Oh,
Central.
brilliant. I thought I was
Minnesota
going to be here in the
United.
show.
Yeah,
I'll be able to
Minnesota.
tune in.
No, after the show, we're gonna watch it, and Minnesota
party?
United, unfortunately, is gonna have to lose.
Watch along?
To the boys
Watch
of St.
party?
Pat's. Let's
Yeah,
do
Rick's
it.
doing
Why
one
not?
on his YouTube channel.
Overall, what do you think? What do you give it, Connor, on a scale?
I was asked earlier. I said a 7.5 is where I'm settling.
Frank.
Nice.
I'm gonna say 7.
Okay.
I think that's pretty fair.
I think
going
it's
with
great
like,
for what it is. A 7 is a solid.
Yeah.
number.
I'm teetering between like 9.8, 9.9.
Fight fans are gonna love it, man. I really do.
Granted, you've got like 4 movies for
I
comparison.
mean,
that are
it's
on the
not quite
scale.
Billy Madison, but it was a good
that's
time.
12.
Great comic
Nothing
relief
is.
in there. I have to say, some
Yeah.
great comic relief.
Every time Connor
I mean,
was on, I was cracking
for
up.
what it's
Oh,
worth.
I actually was. I
When
thought
he's
Frank.
doing things that he shouldn't be doing. People were laughing. I was laughing.
I thought Frank was about to start elbowing me because there was a couple of scenes where I was just dying for no reason, just because it was McGregor.
For what it's worth, the director Doug Liman is like a great director. So I'm
Yeah.
not, and I mean Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. Like I'm not surprised. It's pretty decent.
And the producer is also a famous guy too, right?
I don't know. I don't know offhand.
There's 2 names, Doug Liman and someone else that I keep hearing about. Nevertheless, wait, now it's going to bother me. Frank, you know who it is? You're the expert.
I'm sorry. I was distracted by the chat. What was the question?
Joel Silver. Joel
There
Silver.
we go.
Frank loves.
Oh
the
yeah,
chat,
sure.
man.
You know,
Prolific.
right. What are you doing on the chat, Frank? You're just like reading stuff, or are you actually like contributing to the chat? Are you talking with them?
They were
or-
asking me a question.
You're chatting with the chat in the middle of the show?
I love it.
Seems-
One last
me?
thing I will say on Roadhouse, you were quick in and out of the after party.
Yeah.
I
Did you
went in
stick
for-
around?
I went in for a minute. I enjoyed myself. They had this was like the bar within the after party was set up like the bar in the movie Roadhouse.
that's
Like, they
sick.
built all that today or yesterday, whenever it was. It was pretty impressive. It was impressive stuff.
Smart.
man.
Good
I mean,
time.
Smart on their part.
I felt like a big player yesterday.
Thank you. Well, you are. Thank you to the good people at Amazon for inviting us and treating us well. We enjoyed it, and it comes out tomorrow on Prime Video. So go check it out. That's March the 21st. All right, let's answer some questions. More Roadhouse talk to come. We start off with Santiago Barcos. Hello, crew. Question for Ariel, GC, and Rick. Do you think the Paul versus Tyson fight will be the most watched fight of all time because it will be on Netflix for all users? And I think it can be an important factor that breaks any kind of records like Mayweather versus Conor or Khabib versus Conor. Well, it's going to be hard because they don't make those numbers public. But remember, there have been some fights in Japan during the Bob Sapp days that got like 30, 40, 50 million viewers on New Year's Eve. So yes, could it break some crazy record? Yes. But let's not forget now, could it break a North American record? Could it break a U.S. record? Yes, it has the potential. But overseas, in particular, the heyday of Pride and K1, there were some insane viewership numbers. But yes, that is the appeal, and that is the thing that I think a lot of people are missing when talking about this. This is Netflix airing a live boxing event. Huge. Quite significant, if you ask me. We move along. Abhisek, my friend. Hello, Ariel and the crew. Namaste from India. Hope you guys are doing great. My question today is for Ariel and the guys in the back. Can you tell us that one fight from the past that looked absolutely great on paper, but it did not deliver? My personal pick is Israel versus Yoel, as there was such a great potential to be a really good fight, but did not end up being that way. The one that comes to mind right off the top is Francis versus Derek Lewis. I think we all thought that had all the potential in the world to be incredible, and it ended up being the exact opposite. Like, it wasn't just like okay, it was awful because neither engaged for various reasons, different reasons. But that's the one that I feel like I had the most high expectations for, and it ended up being the complete opposite. Does anything else come to mind for you guys?
Style wise, I think that's a great answer. That's not the first thing that comes to mind for me because I think of fights in the build-up, not necessarily the style matchup more so. And so for me, it was Rampage and Rashad, like just the bad blood brewing, and then it just ended up being just the worst, boringest, worst fight. And that was disappointing. But I think you're right. Like stylistically, you'd have to think that Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou stepping in there is going to be insane, and it ended up being horrible. I think that's a good call.
I remember people feeling a little bit disappointed in Hughes Sarah, especially them hugging at the end because it was so bitter.
Oh, that yeah. See, that's along the lines of what my brain went to. Was like I was thinking like they did a season of tough. They're at each other's throats. It's this huge rivalry, and then it was just a dud of a fight. Like didn't deliver. Yeah.
By the way, here's a nice one from the chat. Jorge and Colby.
We expected a different fight from that one?
Maybe a little bit better. A couple other ones, Izzy Cannonier, Rose Carla. Again, I feel like all of these are better. I feel like my Derek Lewis Francis Ngannou one is the best so far. Izzy Romero is
It's a good one.
Izzy Romero's up there as well, and that's the one that Abhisek mentioned. We move along. Matmo, bonjour, Lord Ariel. You may have heard that on Monday, April 8th, there will be a total solar eclipse visible across much of eastern North America, where Vox Studios is located. You guys won't see the total eclipse, but still about 80% of the eclipse, which is still extraordinary. My question is, as the eclipse will be occurring between 3 to 4 p.m. on a Monday's episode of the MMA Hour, what are you and the crew's plans for watching the eclipse that day? I'm sure many of those in the building will want to witness this once-in-a-lifetime celestial event. Also, make sure you're wearing ISO-123312-2 eclipse glasses so you don't damage your eyes. Thanks for all you do. I know nothing about all of this. I think I heard that there was something going on. I feel like at least one of you is into this sort of thing.
So there's a thing called the sun.
Yeah, I heard of
and then
that.
We have the moon.
Yeah.
And the moon is going to get in between the Earth and the sun, where it looks like it's blocking out all of the sunlight from the sun. And what's cool when this happens, when it's a total solar eclipse, you could see the corona of the sun, which is like the emissions of light that come from the edges of the sun that we normally can't see because it's too bright. So it is a pretty cool event.
Will everything be dark?
Yeah, but where we are, we're only going to see about an 80% coverage. We're not going to see the total 100%.
But there'll be parts of maybe New York or whatever where it'll just be black in the middle of the day.
Correct.
And
like
how long will
animals
this
that are
last?
nocturnal will go to sleep, and everyone gets confused.
How long will this last?
A few minutes.
Like, are we talking 5, 10, 15?
I honestly don't know. 10 minutes?
And would you say this would be sort of like a total eclipse of the heart?
Yes, that's exactly. In fact, as soon as you said that, I have nothing but that music video in my mind right now.
So what are we doing? Are we going to do like a live stream of it?
Well, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Oh, you're going to go watch?
Run downstairs.
Do you have the special glasses?
No, I'm gonna, after watching our brave ex-president just do it without any glasses, I'm gonna do the same.
Okay, and who was that? Gerald Ford. Okay, and you're just gonna leave the show in the middle. Could we
never do that.
Could we show it on the screen? Like we watch together, or
I think the window behind you. Maybe we can.
Oh, okay, all right.
See something live.
Wow, wise guy. All right. Well, all to say, Matt Mo, we have no plans, as you can clearly tell, but maybe we'll work on that. We'll look into that. Here's Jamal 2020. Aloha, Ariel. I have a coworker who uses all my condiments. The last one was I bought a spicy buffalo ranch dressing, and I probably used it like 2-3 times, left it in the work fridge. I saw him use it multiple times, but assumed there would be a lot left for me. Fast forward a couple weeks, I bring a salad to work, and lo and behold, my dressing is all gone. And he remarks that we ran out of it last week. Who's we? I was so angry. Should I confront this guy? Should I take my condiments to and from home every day to safeguard them? I feel like New York Rick will have a great take on this. Can I weigh in? I say, don't leave anything there. Yes, you want your condiments to yourself? Bring it to work, bring it home. Put it in a little thing. Don't just leave it there. We've experienced this. We've put drinks in our communal fridge and people just take them. Can't trust anyone. DTA, bring what you need and don't share with anyone. That's my take.
Or stick a label on it with your name and dole it out as you see fit. But if one specific person is the only one using it and using all yours, I don't know, I'd confront them.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
yeah. If it's one dude, tell that dude to take a hike for sure.
No.
But still, you want to avoid.
Time to say something to
feel like there's a lot of ways this could play out, you know? Does the guy think it's communal? Does he think it's like the office dressing, the office sauces? Or is he just like almost bullying the question asker, and he's just like, I'll use whatever I want. I don't care. I mean,
even if he does think it's for everybody, overuse. You know, chill.
Okay,
chill
I mean, he killed an entire bottle of dressing. That's a lot of dressing.
Yeah, I agree.
Either way, I think you confront the guy. I think you go up to him.
Time to say something.
Maybe not confront him. Maybe just ask him. You know, hey man, I bring those from home. You might just not using them so much. Feel free to use maybe just a dab.
I would confront, but also just bring a little bit for myself, and that's it. What do you need to keep it there for? Who knows what's going on? Like, people are putting stuff, spiking your dressing?
No, one's doing that.
Maybe he-
Ariel. Not
maybe the
how
question
popular
asker
do you
wants to
think
share.
spiking and poisoning random food?
I don't
on
trust
Amazon?
anyone. I would not.
They're gonna spike your hidden
Yeah.
valley at work.
Of course. Of course. Benjamin. Hi, Ariel. As always, and Benjamin's a great young man doing great work as an aspiring broadcaster. So keep it up, Benjamin. As always, appreciate your perspective. One of the best follows on Twitter, aka X, in the combat sports world has to be the great Jedi Goodman. I agree. He reported that Joshua Ngannou did just 4,600 pay-per-view buys in the U.S. Now, I've seen people run with this once again. People love this story. Now, I do have to offer this explanation. The 4,600 was not the pay-per-view buys on DAZN worldwide, and obviously Joshua Ngannou is going to do the most in the UK. That's off traditional cable and satellite pay-per-view. Who's buying this card that was not promoted at all on traditional outlets? Who's buying it on anything other than DAZN, right? It was on DAZN. It was on Sky Sports pay-per-view. We're talking about 4,600 TV pay-per-views in the U.S. alone. So stop. Like, I see people running with this number and you're saying, oh, it did 4,600. No, it didn't. It did it on the last resort platform in the U.S. alone, not DAZN, which is where the boatload of pay-per-views were bought. And we're not even talking about UK, which is the number one market for this fight. In any event.
Also worth noting, Jedi Goodman didn't report because Jedi Goodman isn't a reporter. He was citing somebody else, right?
Yes.
It said like Jedi Goodman report.
Yes,
Jedi,
I did
Jedi
see
Goodman
that,
did not report.
and I saw that, and but the thing is, I knew people would run with it and say, "Oh, look how bad this did." We don't know what the final number is, and maybe it did fail, and maybe it was a bust, but that's not the number. That's like I don't even know who these. I'm shocked, by the way, that it did 4,600 because I didn't even know you could buy this pay-per-view off TV. I thought it was DAZN only. So whatever. He continues, the declining rate of pay-per-view buys / the pay-per-view model is no secret. Sometimes I feel like even the UFC numbers are a little inflated. We really don't know. Any thoughts on this? I would say the UFC is killing it on pay-per-view. I would say no one is doing better on pay-per-view than the UFC. I don't think the PBC card on March 30th should be a pay-per-view. I think only a select amount of fights, and the UFC is the only entity that could do 13 shows, earmark them, pay-per-view, because the brand is so hot. I don't think Matchroom can do that. I don't think PBC can do that. I don't even think WWE can do that anymore. They're the only ones, and that's a credit to them. And so not sometimes it's a mistake. Like you need to get people, the most amount of people possible. I think PBC's first show on Amazon should have been just on Prime. Let people know about the product, give people the taste. It's a good card. I don't think it's a pay-per-view worthy card. I think Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora is a Showtime event. It's not a Showtime pay-per-view event, so I don't know why this would be a pay-per-view card. But and like I said on Monday, Rolly versus Pitbull is a great fight too. It's a great 1-2 punch. I just think more combat sports promotions just need to put their stuff out there in front of the paywall as opposed to behind the paywall. That being said, you can use that as, pay-per-view is dead, and I don't think it applies to most organizations. Like, I don't think PFL should be in the pay-per-view business. I don't think most boxing entities. AEW, I think, does okay on pay-per-view, but that's pretty much it. It's really just UFC, and UFC's killing it. I don't think UFC should move away from the pay-per-view model, and we'll see what happens when their deal is up at the end of 2025. Maybe they do a deal like WWE did with Peacock, or might do with Netflix when the Peacock deal is done in 26. But I wouldn't be shocked if they continue with the ESPN Plus deal because I think it has benefited UFC and ESPN. So I think when you talk about the decline of pay-per-view, you have to exclude certain factors and players, and the UFC would be the biggest one.
Yeah, and it's also important to note, you touched on it, but to be transparent and clear, like the UFC has a deal in terms of pay-per-views where there's a floor. So it's not just like out there selling pay-per-views, right? Like the reason that a UFC 301 is a possibility is because there is a minimum that the UFC will be paid pertaining to pay-per-views. So therefore, they're not solely in the business of we live and die by pay-per-view product. So even they are shifting away from that model to a certain capacity, right? They are certainly benefiting from higher pay-per-views, but even they are shifting away from the idea that like we live or die by pay-per-view products, which is an older system. Like there are much more complicated, intricate, beneficial, lucrative ways to kind of cut that deal now with streaming platforms.
And there is no doubt that this has taken some of the burden away from the UFC, right? You get a minimum guarantee.
That's right.
You don't have to promote as much. And so initially,
if you put the product out and the only way you're making $1 is if one person buys that pay-per-view, it's completely different than if your broadcast partner says, we're going to give you this off the top. Like there's a completely different business that you can now do based on that. So yeah, completely alleviates that pressure.
And initially, I think we all thought, man, ESPN overpaid for this because the numbers were lower. The deal couldn't have worked out better for UFC and ESPN. It's worked out tremendously because the numbers are great, and ESPN is getting what they want. They built ESPN Plus off the UFC, and the UFC doesn't have to go out there and pound the pavement in terms of marketing and promotion. So much so, I don't know if you guys saw earlier today, according to the UFC Europe account, they have released the poster for UFC 300. I'm springing this upon you.
I'd like to see it.
GC, do you mind pulling this up for us real quick, the UFC 300 poster? Do you happen to see it, GC?
Oh, I saw it. Stand by. I will have it in just...
I refuse to believe that this is real. I refuse to believe that the brilliant minds over in Las Vegas are honoring UFC 300 with a poster like this. And if you don't mind, while you're doing that, a quick visual for the 100 and 200 posters, which would be a quick Google search, would be great as well, just to compare and contrast. The 200 poster was great. Do you remember that one with all the guys looking over?
Yeah.
And then 100 was not bad.
I'll grab the 100 and 200. Let's take a look at the 300.
Yeah,
first.
Please. I mean, this is impossible. It's impossible.
It cannot be the final one.
There's no way. I just don't think it is. I think it was a mistype by the UFC Europe account, because I went to the UFC's account and they didn't tweet that this is the official poster. That would be crazy.
Crazy. I refuse to believe it. I refuse.
You have to have something that gives it like a little bit of personality.
I mean, look, like I said, are they missing the superstar A-list main event? Sure. But you still have a bunch of A-listers on the card. Max and Gaethje and Zhang Weili and Pereira and on it goes. Prochaska and Bo Nickel and Kayla Harrison. Like, you could populate this thing and make it really cool. But this might be a byproduct of like, we don't really have to sell this thing. You know what I mean? So we put minimal effort. But like, come on, posters are so important to the...
Oh, no, I've seen some fan designs that, I mean, blow this thing right out of the water.
This can't be.
Is it?
DS Twins is one. Like, there's some... Here's the 200, by the way.
I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
Far better.
That's good.
And of course...
Can I play devil's advocate for a second, though?
Yeah.
Not devil's advocate. Can I propose a potential thought that I had, which was maybe they typically don't feature a lot of people on these posters, right? Especially like 200 was a different era poster-wise. We can agree, right? Like they were still trying to make interesting posters. Now they've shifted toward much less dynamic type posters. They typically don't feature more than 1 or 2 matchups on it. Like, we're talking 4 people max. Is there a world where they thought, we don't want to be disrespectful and not put all these people, but we also don't want to just highlight the 2?
Can't be.
And ended up at the worst possible solution? I don't know.
They did
I
it
can't
perfect
figure out
for 200. And that's the 200, by the way.
But that's an old era.
It's still...
They haven't made posters like that in a decade.
There's a couple here and there that, we said that. I mean, even that one. This is great.
Yeah. These don't exist anymore, though. It's face versus face, black background. Like, it's the same poster every time now. They don't do this anymore.
They still have some cool posters from time to time. This is literally just a flag that says UFC 300.
No, I'm not defending.
Please stop.
I'm not defending this effort.
They should have hit up the people from Rise.
Out how.
If we were going to go no fighters on the poster,
Yeah.
call up the people from Rise and be like, yo, can we get something crazy made?
Boss
for
Logic.
300?
Boss Logic would do it for free.
Well,
Boss Logic.
the thing about Ryzen is, even on like every event, they've got everybody on the poster. That's kind of the thing, or nobody, right?
Some are like
Something
a tiger walking through a garden, or like a raven.
I'll take that.
flying.
I'll take that.
Or
There was
do
one classic
everybody.
one, a baby being breastfed.
Now we're talking.
Remember that
The
one?
Pride poster.
That's
Yes.
Pride, no?
Yeah,
Or is that
that's-
Ryzen?
Same thing. So, same guy.
Oh, same thing. Okay, good.
Well, no. Saki Kabara. It's the same. To me, Ryzen is a spawn
Call
of
up
Pride.
Saki.
Yes.
Good. We need something made here.
I put them all in the same bucket. It's
12 days short of April Fools too. For a half second, I did a double take at the calendar. I was like,
even the
gold.
gold
It can't
is
be
not
real.
Nice. The
It
gold
can't
isn't
be
nice.
real. Is it possible they put this out to test the temperature? And if people were like, yeah, it's great, just been like, whatever, we're rolling with it.
Also,
there's no way.
I love the UFC Europe account. It's probably my favorite of all the UFC accounts. Is it weird that they're the ones that tweeted it and not the actual UFC account?
That's why I think it's I think they.
You think someone just messed up?
I think they misspoke. The official UFC poster, because typically the UFC also tweets like, "Here's the official poster," and then you get Big Marcel tweeting like, "Here's the square and the horizontal," and like, there's usually like an email sent out. I think this is just a misspoke, and obviously
there's going to be a follow up.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
I think so too.
They're going to do like a oops, this wasn't it. We were joking. Yep. Here's like the real deal.
I bet the artist series is going to be amazing. I bet the artist series is going to be amazing. You want to know the craziest part?
Yes.
A lot of people ripping on it on Twitter, I being one of them. You still had the people that were like, oh, here we go. Anything the UFC does is the worst.
It's indefensible.
No. I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you guys at this point.
By the way,
if you can't say one negative thing about the promotion.
You know how you know it was a bad poster? When the biggest UFC bootlicker on the planet, Connor Burks, is shitting on.
I was gonna say I have series of content surrounding this organization. My life revolves around the UFC. I say one bad thing about the poster, and they're just like, this guy. He hates the company. I'm like, come on.
Nah, you used one of the board members of TKO to express your frustration.
Yeah. That was a good point.
The great.
Glad you picked up on that.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson. Did you know that you were doing that when you did it?
Yeah, of course, man.
How do you have these things just like ready to go, by the way? How do you have the perfect video response to all these moments?
My bag is deep, man. That's all I can
Bookmarks? Do you just say,
saved in the phone, folders. I have accomplices that can help me in dire need.
All right. Adriano, hey Ariel, rumors of UFC 305 heading back down to Australia. If so, could we see DDP versus Izzy, Strickland versus Whitaker, and Shavkat versus JDM in a number one contender matchup? Your thoughts on this lineup? Much appreciation as always. Hell yeah. I'm up for all of those. I love every single one of them, especially if it's 305 would be, I think Whitaker said August or so. DDP Izzy, yes, sign me up. Now, how will DDP feel about that? First title defense in Australia? I mean, it's a journey, but remember, Sean was probably cheered more so than Izzy in Australia. Izzy resides and trains out of New Zealand. Strickland, I think, would be beloved once again, and Whitaker. Strickland and Whitaker would be interesting to see who gets cheered more, and then Shavkat, JDM. Yes, so yes, please sign me up for all. This is an interesting one. The Latter-day Godfather, bonne journée, mes amis. Big one today. In anticipation of UFC 300, can you guys give us your rankings of the entire card in terms of what is your most anticipated? If not, you want to just give us your top 5 in order. This is an interesting one. I like this one. Most anticipated for UFC 300. Top 5. I'll go first. Let me go to my friends at Tapology. It's the only one I trust. And they've done some updates to the site, which is lovely to see. Okay. Here we go. I would say my most anticipated fight is probably Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. Nah, I'm just joking. Looking hard to beat.
Max Justin.
Hard to beat Kayla's debut at 135. I'm not gonna lie.
Come on, stop trolling. Just say the thing. Say the thing that everybody says. Come on.
Max Justin?
Yeah, gotta be.
Yeah.
For the fake belt?
Fake belt? Who cares? Banger. These dudes are gonna go to war.
I'm being honest right now.
Belt or no belt? You could put no belt on the line, and it's the same fight.
Kayla Holly.
Number one.
Armin Charles.
Okay, that's a solid number 2.
Max Justin.
Get
what?
Kayla Holly won.
Cody Figueiredo.
Cody Figueiredo.
Pereira Jamal. No? What do you guys say?
I mean, I'm going Max Justin 1 for sure.
Connor and I will probably have similar lists. Max Justin number 1 for sure.
Yeah, probably Chucky Olives, Charles Oliveira, Armin 2.
Yep, same.
Probably Pereira Hill 3.
Okay, I divert here. I like Sterling and Cater 3. That's my 3.
Sterling Cater's great. Yuri versus Rakic. Rakic coming back. Yuri, can he avoid, going back-to-back losses? I'm gonna go Yuri Rakic 4 after
I'll go-
Pereira Hill, and then because I want to see Hill, coming back from injury, dealing with the bright lights of trying to get the belt back on UFC 300. I want to see that, and then I'll go Cater Sterling at 5 because I want to see Sterling at 145.
I'll go Pereira Hill 4.
Jim Miller too.
And then I'll go. Now it's toss up between Holm and Harrison and Figgy and
The story
Cody.
behind Holm and Harrison's debut, 135.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
The card is incredible.
It is like, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm
There's
a
no
Kayla
right
Harrison
answer.
fan,
There's no
and
right
I believe,
answer.
and I believe that. But like Cody and Figgy is just
Well,
gonna be.
the correct answer for number 1 is Justin and Max.
Yeah, we that's all I want to say is there's only one answer for number 1.
respectfully disagree. Mikey T. Good day, crew. I have a question for Ariel and a question for GC. To GC, I love the graphics you make for the watch parties, the vault graphic for big hitters, and the graphics you make for the GC and Rick show. I'm sensing a trend here. Graphic for the watch parties, vault graphic for the big hitters, GC and Rick. Nothing that I get to contribute
Yeah,
from.
nothing.
Nothing.
I mean,
What?
we don't have the nose cranker up there in the corner every single Wednesday.
Nah,
that was a
man.
labor of love over
That
here.
was-
I had to manually put in every single number,
I'm just saying.
get the art for the nose done,
Okay, all right.
font, question counter.
So long ago. It was 2 years?
It's sporadic. It's sporadic that you get these.
Ah.
We do a show twice a week. What do you want me to do? Add in a new 3D designed
Yeah,
custom
yeah,
element
yeah.
every single show?
Ever evolving. Anyway, which programs do you use and how do you gain experience, i.e. schooling, DIY?
Yeah. YouTube. That's definitely a huge mentor for me, I guess.
Shout out.
Teacher. YouTube has pretty much everything you could want on the Adobe Cloud. Mostly using After Effects, Premiere, Illustrator, Photoshop. Those are like the big 4 that I'm using. But yeah, you get a combination of like Envato elements. They have so many things.
It is remarkable.
Like
we had no
graphic
idea you
designers.
had these skills when we hired you. I dare I say you undersold it, or maybe you've just learned since because it never really came up.
Yeah, I guess undersold a little bit, but I have definitely learned a lot on the job. But yeah, get Envato elements, get the Adobe Cloud, and use YouTube. I swear to God, there's like a tutorial for anything. Like you can get as specific as possible, and there'll be a guy, 90-second tutorial on how to do it. So that's mostly how I do it.
Frankie, and they're incredible, and we appreciate them
I
greatly.
appreciate that. I do.
No, they are incredible, and my favorite are when you and Rick do the show, and then there's like the hour-by-hour breakdown. I'm like, wow, I wish I could get that, but I like that it's just reserved.
It's actually funny you mentioned that.
Oh, this is so
we were
nice.
talking about that today. Yeah, that is a time-consuming one.
Oh,
I feel like
I'm not worried
feel
about
like
the time.
need
It looks so good,
I feel like I need it to prop me and Rick up, whereas you got this insane guest list. You can just drop a picture of Conor McGregor. It doesn't need to be as detailed to try and draw the audience in. And those things take about 2 hours. So if we wanted to add that to the show, we could speak to
a
the
lot.
agent.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
All right, fair enough.
Happy to do it though. We just gotta.
Yeah, the cheddar makes it better.
for sure.
Frankie, hey Ariel, non-MMA related question here. Can you and the guys tell us your favorite fruit? That is all. My guess is Ariel strawberry. It's not bad. Probably say the one that gets me most excited is a nice mango, like a good mango,
Damn straight.
Love acai, love strawberry, love banana. Banana's probably been the most consistent throughout my life. Love a good mandarin. Enjoy a good
Okay,
peanut
but
butter
do you love
and apple.
acai?
Yes.
Do you
No,
love
no.
acai that's not like a sugar
No.
loaded
That, it's like super.
acai bowl?
No, that's super bitter. Yes, in the bowl. So yes,
Yeah.
in its raw form, I guess it's unfair to say that. Coconut, I enjoy. Anyway, this gentleman says Rick tomato.
Actually,
I was just gonna ask: are we gonna
if
be
you
weird
say
and count tomatoes and avocados as fruits?
Yeah, well, more of
if you
that
see
to come.
if he's saying that as like a hipster thing, then that's funny. But
No, I think
if
it is.
he's not, then it's just
Yes,
silly.
I think you were gonna be the guy that steps out of the box, and then we get into a big
GC
argument
mango.
about tomatoes. I do love a good mango. I don't know if you're topping like nice hot summer day, ice cold watermelon. That's probably my number one. I don't think there's any fruit that I dislike. Don't love grapefruit, but
I hate grapefruit. I actually hate it with a passion. Also,
Tough
don't
to
like
deal
passion
with.
fruit.
Whoa.
passion fruit's all right. Yeah, Frank loves the passion fruit, man. Bananas are like the most consistent. I mean, those are just easy to grab. You can bring them anywhere. apples. You guys got a favorite kind of apple?
Granny Smith.
So my answer,
Big Honey Crisp.
funny enough, not hipster, is Apple by a million
Apple's
miles.
great.
Apple number one.
Million miles.
And you ask if
for
I
the
have a
apple.
favorite. If you ask if I have a favorite, I have a serious favorite. Envy apples are just the next level.
Never
Envy
even heard of
apples.
that.
Wow,
I believe from New
specific.
Zealand. Envy apples.
They come all the way
next
from New
level.
Zealand?
Oh, nice and
Well, yeah,
red.
apples come over from everywhere.
No,
Get an
oh,
envy. Trust me.
Nice and red.
Trust me. It will
I thought
change.
they'd
It
come
will
from
change
like
your life.
Vermont or something.
You ever had
New
cotton
York-
candy grapes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like
Yes.
those.
Those are pretty trippy. You don't like them? I love
Too
them.
sweet.
By the way,
But speaking of New Zealand, I love kiwi.
well, there's one
Oh,
that's
thanks,
nice. There is one more. This individual says Frank avocado.
Avocados
You know
are
what? I
amazing.
mean, I
If we're
was
counting
talking
that,
about
that's my one.
avocado smoothie earlier with Alex. It's
Weird.
amazing.
If avocados are fruits, that's my one.
Do
Love
kiwis
avocados.
originate in New Zealand? Is that
No, it was a
Oh,
play on
that's
words.
okay.
That's an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brantley, hi Ariel. You've been hinting at a potential UFC 300 weekend visit. Are you and the team potentially going? That would be a legendary comeback to a UFC live event. So, can we talk about our 300 stuff, or do we have to?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, right?
No, we're going to be going to UFC 300. We're going to be going to Las Vegas. We're going to be doing a special show on Thursday, April 11th. We're going to be doing a special show on Friday, April 12th. GC and the boys are going to be doing a watch party on the 13th of April. There might be an impromptu meetup session here and there. More on that to come. Will not be attending the event due to other obligations and, what I've talked about in the past, but we'll be boots on the ground, as they say, in the city that, it doesn't sleep, but that's New York. Sin City is what I was referring to. So this is big, and it's mostly big. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to go. The only reason I've pushed to go is so that GC can finally go to Las Vegas, and it seems like we got it done.
You want to go. Come on. Be serious.
I'm just saying.
You wanna go.
That was the main motivation, if I'm being 1,000% honest.
You want to go. It's going to be
picked up
great.
on that.
What's that?
Can't wait to touch down in Big LV.
First time, right?
First time. Hotels booked, flights booked. Everything is ready to roll. Got a Raiders hat.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be styling. and
Fight
profiling.
feast. I mean, there's going to be a lot of
Fight
content.
feast will happen. Watch party, full card watch party.
Wow.
All from the strip. 7 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dare
can't
say
wait.
that we are breaking some news right now, right?
Sure.
There it is.
So, yes, more on that to come, but that week you'll have a Monday show, a Wednesday show, a Thursday show, a Friday show.
Doing it big.
Yeah, we're doing it big. And then the usual Saturday stuff. And then right back at it on Monday for the post 300 show. So stay tuned for more. But yes, we'll be out and about and hope to meet a lot of you there. Should be fun. Like I said, impromptu, but we will do something. It's not going to be like a live show like the New York ticketed event that we had, but we'll be around. We'll be around. Here's Ben P. Hello, Ariel. My question is somewhat of a backhanded compliment. I don't understand you doubling and trebling down on the, quote, never being paid by a promoter. Come on, man. It's 2024. You are hindering only yourself. If Turkey wants to give you a bag to go and do your thing, then you should take it. You are the best in the biz and you deserve it. And for what? Because you're scared people will, quote, take to Twitter and say mean things about you and your integrity? You've been doing this how many years now? You and anybody who watches you knows what your integrity is about. What are you scared of? Going on your own damn show and saying something remotely critical about that show or that promotion? You get a pass by now and you have earned it. Let WWE pay you. Let Eddie pay you. Let Turkey pay you. And then go on your show and say whatever the hell you want. You have worked hard to be where you are and to be so in demand. So go and make that fortune. Well, very nice. No real question there, but I enjoyed the sentiment. And thought it was really nice. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Here's one for Frank. Mo to Clutch, non-MMA related. I have a number on my phone that I forgot to save a while back. And that person and I text about basketball, MMA, etc. But the problem is I don't know who I'm texting. I've texted back to be nice, but do I just randomly ask who is this, FaceTime them to find out who it is, etc., etc.? What do I do? P.S. I will start saving numbers. What should this man do, Frank?
First, I would Google the phone number.
Get the,
Then-
yeah.
I would ask other people that might be, adjacent to the conversation if they know who it is. And then finally, FaceTime.
Wow. FaceTime, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
But you leave your camera off.
I sometimes I say like, oh, got a new phone. And by the way, that never
New
works.
phone, who does?
Yeah, but like that never works. Like I've had new phones. Your contacts get brought over. So when people say to me, "Oh, got a new phone. Who is this?" Like, "Oh, you just didn't save my number." That's really what just happened.
Yeah.
Andy says, Andy Koufax, Ariel, GC's already suffered the public shame of getting TKO'd by a veined Italian blue cheese made from unskimmed cow's milk. Then Monday rolls along and you casually reveal to the legend Coach K he's interested in Train Alta but doesn't have the heart to take a fight. It was like a mom telling another kid's cool dad her son still wets the bed while the son was at the water fountain listening in on the convo. Please give Connor the floor to address this for us.
I felt like I addressed it on Monday. Yeah, we were back here, just like we were waiting on Kavanaugh and Rich to be like, "Oh, so he's just."
No, you said this yourself.
He's just
I wasn't
bitch.
shitting on
He
you.
doesn't want to fight.
I wasn't shitting on you. I was just saying.
Why does he want to train if he doesn't want to fight?
Nah, he didn't say that.
Yeah,
This is
I mean
crazy.
that's what I was waiting on. Yeah, I don't know.
I just love that.
Just getting into the bag work,
I just love that you and that cheese was it Gorgonzola
Oh yeah,
that you become
that wasn't
so closely linked.
That was not a TKO. That was a full line, flat lined, knocked out cold.
That was a
that was
life altering, scarring event.
Scarred.
Yeah.
Scarred to the point where like I get nauseous now and like I almost start like having anxiety. I'm just like, oh God, like please don't let this be happening again. So yeah. We got away from the Ulta training thing there, but yeah.
We believe in you.
Well, I got a nice like built-in excuse. They don't have any gyms near me.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I go train over at Polino's though.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You and Dylan.
Yeah, me, Dylan, and Pereira.
This is a nice one from Agent Spooky. Ariel and Dem Boys. I sure hope you're all doing well. Last week, the crew strongly insinuated you would be in Vegas on April 13th. I know you've said that you don't get out a lot and have been made to feel unwelcome at such events, but we need to see Dana hang his head in sadness as Ariel Helwani comes on the big screen and the crowd goes wild. What other reporter gets applause before even asking a question? You're the GOAT. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not, you play a critical role in the story of the UFC. At UFC 200, you push back on the idea that Conor shouldn't get to fight Nate. 100 pay-per-views later, the same question can be asked, minus the Nate part. It would be great as a longtime fan of yours to see you at such a huge event. Either way, I'm a big fan of you and all the guys. Thanks for the entertainment over the years and keeping me sane during my 9 to 5. I believe the weigh-ins and press conference open to the public. You know yourself, Frank. You know yourself. Nick C. Hey, Ariel and crew. I've been feeling nostalgic lately for the old days when you covered events live and always did the post show with Mark, Chuck, etc. Something special about you being there. I fully support you wanting to be home with your family. Do you ever miss those days? Do you still talk to Mark? What's your criteria these days for choosing which events to attend? A lot of this theme this week. Still talk to Mark all the time. Obviously, still talk to Chuck all the time. Those were great days. Those were very fun days. Those were different days in all our lives, different days in the sport. In terms of the criteria, I mean, it depends, but usually these days it's if I'm working the broadcast as opposed to covering the event. I feel like I can cover the event from here, from home, the show, etc. But if I'm working the broadcast, that's a whole different role and opportunity and something that isn't necessarily available in MMA. It has been made available, but as the previous person mentioned, like I would have to get paid. Like PFL wanted me to work the Riyadh show. I just couldn't do it. I would have to be paid by PFL. I've been approached by other promotions. So if it's an opportunity to work with a network and be a part of the broadcast and be in the ring or this and that, yes, that is something of great interest. But there are even opportunities like that I've said no to just because it's a little bit too much. So I try to be a little sensible. We have our anchor here. The other stuff is great as well. And those days, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, those were amazing. Changed a little bit with the ESPN deal, but no regrets there. It was just a different role. But yes, I would always equate, our team back then. We were the Golden State Warriors. Incredible team. It's an incredible team now. It's just obviously with different players. And I was contributing to the site as opposed to just doing the show here. And, it was a great time with everyone involved. It really was. And I didn't think anyone could touch us. I thought that when I say the Warriors, I don't mean the 2024 Warriors. I'm talking about like the 15, even 16 Warriors, even though it didn't work out. Shout out to the Cavs.
Yep.
Hey guys, here's from Michael, the Parlay Boys. I commend your efforts in trying to break the losing streak. I too have had issues with 4-leg parlays as of late, so my strategy for this week is to do a 2-leg parlay instead. Could this be the future of the Parlay Boys if the unfortunate streak continues? I'd hate to see any of them quit, but understand that losing sucks. What do you guys think? 2-leg parlays.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I mean,
If we keep losing, we might as well make it easier.
Are we doing it this week?
No, I think we'll stick with the
right.
original format this week. I think we got a winner in us.
Okay, well, that's to come. Just a couple more here. Jiggy asks if I would be open to my kids fighting. Obviously would support them, but wouldn't love for them to fight. I don't think they have to fight. Most fighters say they don't want their kids to fight, and I would take their word for it. So, yeah, maybe not. Adam here asks me about the Bills' offseason so far. Bit of a mixed bag. Some major players have left, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, etc. But I trust Brandon Beane, and I trust the process. No doubt about it. This individual named Steve says that he was delighted to hear all of us buzzed about his run-in with Arnold Allen last week at Tesco. He said, following Rick and GC's desire for more information, I thought I would oblige. However, it is a bit of an anticlimax. So as I turn around, meal deal in hand, I see Arnold and I assume his partner walking down the aisle. I do a double take, clock eyes with him, and it's clear at this point he realized that I recognized him. Unfortunately, in that moment, he looked away, and I got the vibe that he didn't want to be bothered. So on this occasion, I chose to leave him be. He's local to the area, so I might be lucky enough to see him again, and he can help me choose my lunch. Love the show. Love the chemistry you all have. Much love, Steve. P.S. Frank reminds me of Toby from the U.S. Office.
Nice.
You're okay with that?
Well,
yeah, I'll take him.
That's a nice you say, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Nick.
I thank you for the details.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nick says it's disrespectful to have Rose fighting at the Apex. Remember, we asked her about that. I don't think she's too bothered. I think she's probably relishing the idea of fighting with maybe a little less pressure. So, she goes out there, does the thing against Amanda Hebus, and is right back into it. JPV says he's expecting his second child, and I wish him the best. Good luck with the pregnancy. Good luck with the delivery. And it's going to be great, my man. And finally, last one. Here's from Sam. Rapid fire questions, all right? He says, welcome back from mat leave, Andy. Andy not with us today, but I'm sure she would appreciate that. He asks her how it was. We can answer that. We can answer that next week. New York Rick, as an avid moviegoer on a raw vegan diet, what is the go-to movie snack? What was the raw vegan treat that got you through Madam Web? Are you on a vegan diet?
Yeah, you're on a raw vegan diet?
I'm not vegan, but...
All tomatoes.
What? I missed that.
What did he ask, too? What's the snack that got you through Madam Web?
What was the raw vegan treat?
I did see Madam Web.
Did you admit on air that you saw Madam Web, or he just knows you that well?
He might have just known that I'm all about that life.
That's a trooper movie right there.
Mom was studying spiders in the rainforest, all that. What do I eat? Almonds. Almonds is the snack. And that's a good snack for anything. Movie, whatever you're doing. Raw almonds, just delicious. Good snack.
Amazing. That is a great snack, by the way. It's a tremendous snack. Mysterious Frank is a fellow audiophile. I'm assuming you collect vinyl. How many in your collection, and what is your rarest find?
Oh.
Okay,
I like this one.
Oh, here we go. Sit back, guys.
Yeah, I do collect vinyl. I have a Discogs. Maybe I could share that with everyone. Because it's like 700, 800. Yeah. And my rarest would have to... Actually, I can look this up real quick. Sorry about this. Probably I have an album from Failure called Fantastic Planet. I'm pretty proud of that one.
Okay. What's going on here with this camera angle? What's happening?
We're just letting Frank go.
Okay, yeah. This is for GC. When you arranged the merch back on Ariel's desk after the back-to-back watch parties, did you accidentally put the Bills merch in front of the DC picture, or did Ariel do that just to stick it to the good guy? That's actually more of a Joe question.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually don't rearrange the merch. That's for Big Joe.
How do you feel that they are saying that you were taking a shot at DC, like that they would equate you with a move such as?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
That was all me, by the way. For the record, that was all me.
Listen,
I did that.
when the
I'm
merch is
trying to
getting set
cover
back
his.
up, I mean,
If we could go to this
yeah,
shot
yeah.
here, this main shot, I'm trying to cover his face. I'm trying, but by the way, happy birthday to DC. Happy birthday, old friend. Today's his birthday. I think he's 48, 49. So wish him the best. Last one is for me. He's asking if I feel differently about the Substack community now that they all got mad about the Tyson Jake stuff. Nah, they're great. We love them. We could agree to disagree. And I don't even know if we're necessarily disagreeing, but it's all good in the hood. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel. So please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.